of games against ranked opponents that she hasn't gotten the offensive production behind her, yet alone early in the game. And so that was all the difference.
Fiedler draw one of the 5 walks that were allowed by Kavan, who was able to strand all 5 of those base runners back on Friday. She had gone better than 16 innings without walking a batter before allowing those 5 free passes in the opener.
You can tell Kavan trying to figure out exactly where the corners are right now. Her rise ball can tilt both ways as well.
So shades of what we saw back on Friday. First 2 batters.
Tegan Kavan, a pitcher with so much movement that a lot of times you get offenses to chase early, and that allows her to get in the zone.
They're going to say that properly tagging up from third was Kenzie Fiedler. She got down the line in a hurry. They appeal to third and say that no, she did not leave early, and Tennessee scores first. Wow. What an inning for the Lady Vols.
Well, right now, Texas not communicating well and not keeping their head in the game. Reese Atwood and Julie Mitchell collide on this one to respond.
First strikeout of the day for Tegan Kavan, 2 outs.
Laura Mueller expecting something up, and Tegan Kavan uses that changeup right through the heart of the zone. First off-speed pitch we've seen her offer, and none bigger than for the strikeout looking.
All right, one of the Texas. For a second straight day, Tennessee batters have given the National Pitcher of the Week, Carlin Pickens, a lead to work with before she ever throws her first pitch here at McCombs.
Carlin Pickens can work a little bit more relaxed knowing they have a lead, and there's one pitch that's not going to cost her the game unless runners are on base, but she was virtually untouchable yesterday. Texas just
running there. Again, Sophia Nugent completes the battery with Carlin Pickens. First pitch in there for a strike. Henry among the preseason All-Americans for Texas coming into this year, coming off a brilliant freshman campaign. Continues to be working on her short game. She's on that back edge of the batter's box as that last pitch a strike to even up the count.
You can tell by the look on Mia Scott's face there, she didn't necessarily agree with that call.
Big cut as she falls behind 1-2. Again, a leadoff single from Ashton Malone. It's as if it's scripted for Reese Atwood.
If you're a Texas fan, you never count Reese Atwood out. She may have a game or two where she struggles, and yesterday didn't barrel up Carlin Pickens at all. But making the adjustment here, and you see Carlin Pickens trying to go outside, that is plated. Reese Atwood stays on top of that after being a strikeout.
Bringing Ashton Maloney home. It's a brand new ball game heading into inning number 2. Tegan Kavan, before she steps into her second inning of work, has already seen the Longhorns erase an early deficit, but you take a look at her fantastic outing back on Friday to lead Texas to that victory over Tennessee.
Well, the sophomore settled in, and there were a couple walks in that game, but she was able to get
the edge for the first strike. You'll see those letters of KTP and PTK on the gear of these Tennessee players. Keep throwing punches and punch to kill this inning. As right now, nobody on with 2 outs for the 9-hole hitter Morgan. 2-1.
That's your one for this game that you get me.
I'll try to overachieve.
That last game in Missouri.
Yeah. Went around on the appeal. Pretty clear on first look. That pitch inside, but could not.
Inside, my question is why were we swinging at all? Because it was tailing in the whole way. There wasn't a point where that really looked like a strike, but Katie Simmons definitely bear her path.
Taylor Panel across the diamond. 7-8-9 go in order. Pickens finds her third strikeout. We've got a fun one brewing here on this Sunday afternoon in Alston. Level at 1. Each team has been able to strike for 1 run already in this rubber match between Texas and Tennessee. If you, at the time, insurance, something they would have welcomed after the Longhorns were able to answer in the home half. And Reese Atwood, the battery mate of Tegan Gavon. Gavon, the sophomore out of West Des Moines, Iowa, did not play high school softball. We mentioned 4 of her last 5 hits had been home runs. She spoiled that with the bunt single. Still pretty good.
You know, no matter what it looks like, it ups the batting average and goes down as a hit.
A couple years ago, an All-American campaign.
And there you see Friday night, Tegan Gavon able to hold Tennessee just to 2 hits. You could put an asterisk next to today's 3 for 9, the 1 hit, a pop-up bunt that fell in the infield, but still nonetheless, Tennessee making adjustments early. And I'll say this too, Lincoln, and it goes for any pitcher. When you
for Tennessee, number 1, Katie Taylor, is now running at third base.
And they are going to run for Boo Gibson here. Katie Taylor in her place. So the senior 60 feet away from giving Tennessee their first insurance run of the afternoon. Back-to-back regular season champions, Tennessee. Overall 3 times they've claimed the regular season crown and 3 AQs out of the conference tournament as well. They swept the titles back in 2023.
But be able to continue to allow these athletes to grow in their game and offensively increase their production year in and year out.
Here's Ashton Maloney. She was your tying run in the first. A nice recovery by Carlin Pickens. I don't know if that was 78.2 down to first, but able to beat Maloney 1 away. Carlin was not able to get.
Really try to avoid Reese Atwood in this situation. I'm going to force Jolie Mitchell and or Katie Stewart to do something behind her.
2 outs, run on first. Charging his Panel and fires a dart over to first. So Tennessee not made to pay for the 2-out base hit from Mia Scott. Longhorns will strand their 3rd runner of the day, and the lead still intact for the number 5 team in the nation.
A really stud early recruit in Monica Abbott. A lefty, hard-throwing pitcher, similar, or I should say Carlin Pickens, similar to her, that I had the fortune to play with for a long, long time. Didn't actually ever have to face off in college, thank you very much, but plenty in pro ball. But her and Ralph have taken Tennessee to new heights, and you know, charging of this ball and knowing she has to lead. Reese Atwood not run on a lot, and she shows you why.
Not a bad vantage point throughout all of McCombs.
Hurt her just a little bit more than what we saw initially.
We have not seen Vanessa this weekend. The 1-2 from Pickens. And Quiroga able to lay off of that one. And Katie Stewart on deck. Katie Simmons in the hole. Stewart pushes Quiroga into scoring position, 1 away.
Good hustle by Katie Stewart to try to get down there, but it was dodged looking up to try to make a double play before she had secured the ball that allowed Texas to have Quiroga in scoring position. Big opportunity here with both Simmons and Leanne Good coming up to bat.
Tying run in favor of one team in orange or the other.
Well, that was interesting because Carlin Pickens didn't move as Boo Gibson's trying to come across the infield to catch it. Panel stayed at third. And you saw Mueller actually come in and possibly try to catch it too. That could have been disastrous.
First pitch strike to Leanne Good, who grounded out to the left side back in the second. So the leadoff single.
Limit the damage. You see the changeup there to retire Leanne Good with Vanessa Quiroga on second, just the last half inning. This is definitely the pitcher's duel everyone thought they were going to see on Friday night. But Coach Karen Weekly executed a game plan that I think had a lot of people scratching their heads. Started Carlin Pickens for the first inning and then went to the rest of her staff.
Neither pitcher before Sit Lolly takes the circle. Tegan Gavon goes a little over 4 innings of work in her second start of the weekend. She leaves a 1-run ball game, but the Lady Vols threatening.
Really the first time this season, but the sac fly to Katie Stewart. A great throw, knowing they don't have the runner at home. Katie Simmis cuts, heads up play to get Panel, who was trying to go from second to third. Panel has to see that ball all the way through the cut before she takes off.
Here's Sophia Nugent. The RBI foul out back in the first inning. Proceeding outside, 2-2.
Well, and just how good is Carlin Pickens? You see there, top 10 in the country. And you see Pickens just go right at Ashton Maloney to try to thwart the momentum that Katie Bennett had started. This is where Texas looks like they're just over swinging a little bit. You're a slapper, put the ball in play, let Katie.
So in the bottom of the first would quickly erase the deficit, bringing Ashton Maloney home, who had led off with a single. On to the third, Lady Vols would establish their second lead, a lead that they have not relinquished. They have since tacked on insurance in the top of the fifth. As we welcome you back here for the top of the sixth. Of course, last inning, Lolly Gutierrez came in.
Such an integral part of this staff since her freshman year. Throws some good off-speed, both a changeup and an off-speed curveball. But this year in particular has been so much better in relief than starting, so Texas able to use her behind both Tegan Gavon and Mac Morgan.
Last two. In Texas with Atwood, Quiroga, and Stewart due up in the home half. Gutierrez trying to get them back into the dugout without any damage done here. It's going to be a successful day for Tennessee pitching as a whole. You mentioned on the year, they've only lost once when they score 3. Since 2023, they are now 32 wins and only 4 losses when Tennessee's given their great pitchers in these recent years at least 3 runs to work with.
Well, that's a pretty average thought process.
You see where that ranks across the country. Atwood, the runner on first after her leadoff walk. 0-2 to Stewart, fights just to stay alive and see another pitch.
And you see the speed.
Simmons to see Pickens today. Leadoff walk from Atwood, a 1-out single from Stewart, 2 on, tying run at first right now for Texas.
And being able to retire her majority of the time with that shift.
Texas will have their 8, 9, and top spot of the lineup due up in the home half of the 7th. But first they need to get the third out here. Kinsley Fiedler twice today has walked both times, has come home to skips, and will get to swing a bat for a 4th time today.
That's why it's so important when you have a hitter 0-2, you're able to compete still in the zone and retire her. Fiedler walking after being 0-2 gives some life to Tennessee's offense. Taylor Panel doesn't have to do a whole lot to now bring up the most feared hitter in their lineup for this weekend.
Patty Ruth Taylor, pitching coach for the Longhorns against the Tennessee Ace.
All right, now for Texas, they need base runners. But Pickens has been able to limit the free passes, so you have to be able to pick what pitch you're looking for. And right there, I think similar, and then get rung up on it. It's hard.
Here's Ashton Maloney, Texas down to their final out. They had only lost 2 SEC games all year. Tennessee trying to hand them their second loss over the last 2 days. Nugent unable to frame that one. Pickens gets all 3 starts this weekend. Trust the process after being pulled.
Atwood are all next in line if they can continue this 2-out rally that Ashton Maloney just started.
They won't gamble with the base runner Maloney since she's not the tying or go-ahead run. They just hope that they can accumulate some more base runners. Caden Henry will try to then pass the torch to Mia Scott. Carlin Pickens still just needs 1 out.